Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Hair Impact. I'm Cassandra Gileos, and today we're going to talk about a really hot topic about asbestos. So, about most of a year ago, I think it was 2018 in March, I did a post about asbestos mine in Cyprus called Amiantos. And if you haven't seen it, I encourage you to see it. There says a story of the biggest European mine on asbestos, and we learn a lot about that story. So if you haven't read about the post, you can find a link down to this post, and check it out. Now today we're going to talk about actually 5 things that you actually need to know about asbestos if you don't know anything about it until now, or you know something about now. So today I'm giving you actually the updates on this deadly mineral. It's one of the 10 deadliest minerals in the world, and it's become constantly in the news about products they found asbestos and a lawsuit and health impacts on people even decades after they were exposed. So all these things we're going to talk about today. So number one that you have to know about asbestos is that we actually use products still that they do have asbestos fibers in it, and it's actually legal. If you live in the European Union, you will be grateful to know that the European Union put a goal until 2025 to ban all products that contain asbestos, which is really good news. But how they actually going to do it, that's another story. So a lot of products you have in your home, like beauty products, also there is a debate on that. So asbestos actually is mostly used by products for fireproof, like construction products, your tiles and so on. But because it was used so widely spread, they still find products and locations in the home still in the EU whether that they contain fibers, which they didn't know. Like, for instance, in Germany, they find in the bathroom tiles some fibers. And when you renovate your bathroom, you have to, remove the fibers. Another product is beauty products, which is really debatable how safe it is. If you watching the news in the USA, they found makeup for teens, and they found asbestos fibers. And the reason is that the talc powder is actually associated with asbestos, as natural occurrence, the two minerals, talc and asbestos. So a lot of the powders, there is very common to find the fibers. Makeup and baby powders, it's still debatable. People don't know if they do or they don't contain. And it's only safe when you actually test it. So I will suggest that you use talc-free products if you can in this category of products. Or if you have, if you're living in a house that it was before the 2005 built, maybe you have to check it out with experts if it contains fibers or not. So number 2 is actually from the natural occurrence of asbestos. So what is actually asbestos? So asbestos is a group of minerals, and it's categorized as asbestos is because of their physical characteristics. They are fibers. Some are curly, like chrysotile. Others are like needles, look like fibers, like tremolite. And therefore, the second are more deadly because of how they are shaped. They're like needles, and that's why it's actually hazard for us if you disturb the mineral and become airborne. And when you breathe in, it end up in your lungs, and it hurts your lungs because of their fibers. They stick in their lungs and they bleed, and you bleed, and they stay there, and you get a lot of different diseases. So actually, asbestos is a hazard when it's airborne. That's the message here. So they didn't find any evidence when you input in another way. When you inhale it, it became hazard. Until now, that's the evidence that we have in science part. So if you find a natural occurrence like in the field, if you don't go with your hammer hitting it, then and it's undisturbed, there's soil, plants, or even a bare rock, but you don't go with your hammer and hit it, then it's safe. But if it's an open space and there are ways, somebody down their ways because they construct the houses and they found asbestos and just put it there, then it's a hazard because of the wind. They can become airborne. So it's safer for you to leave then, of course, and maybe call somebody, like the authorities, to deal with that. Number 3 is that asbestos actually, you don't get exposed from asbestos and then instantly get the diseases, get sick. So you can be exposed in your childhood and then be sick and have symptoms of asbestos-related diseases in your 60s. So it's very common. You can have a disease after 40 years later. An example is a friend of mine. He's an oncologist, and he was telling me about his friend, a psychiatrist, and when he was exposed when he was a child. He was working in one summer only in shipwrecks, and before they use asbestos in ships, so they covered when they were painting and for fireproof it. So he just worked one summer when he was young, and then now in his 50s, 60s, he is sick from mesothelioma, a very common disease from asbestos. And they only can relate it to asbestos because they cannot find any relation that he was exposed to something similar, after his life. So that is shocking, that even in a small quantities you can get the diseases related to asbestos, decades and decades afterwards. So number 4, asbestos is actually deadly because the fibers stay in your body. They never leave. So if you inhale or inject or you eat asbestos fibers or you drink, then it will never leave your body, no matter what you do, because again, the physical characteristics, they're fibers and they stick in your organs. And that is scary, and that is why there's no cure. They just stay inside you. So it's better to prevent any exposure. And now we know, more than before. Now we know how deadly it is, and they stop using it in many countries, but still in some countries they still use it. So it's better to be safe. And the last thing that I will tell you is that, unfortunately, in many countries it's banned from mining and using it to make products, but still other countries is not. So they still mine it, they still make products, and they export them. And that's why it's dangerous for us. You can get a product that has got fibers without even know it. Because it's mined in some other country, they make the product. So, like I said, it's better to like we know the talc association, so it's better to use products that are talc free, for instance, if you use your makeup or anything other. So these are the 5 things that I think that you need to know about asbestos. Make knowledge your superpower. Don't forget to hear about and read about the story of asbestos mine in Cyprus and Meanders. And I'll see you next time with another episode of Hair Impact.